The first thing that people usually do, which is a mistake, is to panic. And when you panic,
It's a mistake.
it's a mistake.
It's an immediate reaction.
It is actually it's a reaction.
It's valid. We are human.
Yes, and you have brought a word that you are going to use here.
Yeah.
The reaction, because security is a reaction.
Yeah.
And safety to some extent, when it has happened, that's the way. And actually, we say when you have panicked and walked out, you start calling out. In fact, most of the people do not even call for help.
Yeah.
They call God. And people, what is happening? Jesus! And then before you start saying fire, and even explaining where, especially for ladies, I'm sorry about that.
No, true. Actually, sometimes I freeze. I remember when the fire was going up, I just froze for a minute. For like 5 seconds, and then I was like, okay, wait. Let me turn this off first before things get worse.
In fact, it was good that you did that.
It's an immediate reaction. Hi guys, welcome back to Beyond the Pulpit episode. This is episode 27. It's exciting to be back here recording Beyond the Pulpit. It's been a minute. We've not recorded this in a minute. Last week, we didn't even have an episode. And sincere apologies. We went on a very small break. Very small, but we are back and we're back with amazing things for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Thank you so much. There's a particular person I want to send a shout out to. And her username, let me confirm this on the internet. Her username she comments a lot on our page. And I think her username is Adelaide Ayoyi. On YouTube, I hope you're a lady. But whoever is having that account, you really do keep us on check. Last week when we didn't have an episode, she was like, why not release an episode, the original episode on this day? And then she was like, no, we'll figure it out. I was like, wait. You're a loyal fan. So thank you so much, Adelaide. We really appreciate the support that you're giving us. Even the other time when we didn't have t-shirts, she was here telling us, oh, you should have t-shirts. Well, please, tukubalisheni tu tusivai t-shirts. Tumeanza kurun out of colors. But somewhere along the way, we'll have more merchandise. But thank you. Thank you so much, Adelaide. I can see that you're a loyal fan. To Beyond the Pulpit, thank you so much. Even to those of you who give us feedback on our personal, our friends on our personal pages. Thank you. We do see that. We do see the support. We do see the prayers. We do see everything that you guys tell us. And we are at 600 subscribers. That's exciting. So thank you for helping us grow. This journey is not easy, but we can see you guys supporting us. So thank you. I hope you've been well. I hope God has been keeping you safe. I know He has. I hope you're keeping warm during this very cold and bipolar weather. Last week it was hot. This week it's cold. I hope hauna homa. I've been struggling with a cold last week, but I hope mko sawa. Take concussions, and I know that is going to heal you, and Jesus is going to heal you. All right. So let's get into today's episode. Our guest today is not new to our faces. He was actually one of our first guests on Beyond the Pulpit. So it's an honor. It's an amazing honor to have him again here. Na hata yeye kuitika wito wetu. Inaonekana hata anapenda kutuongelesha. So thank you so much, Gikonyo, for honoring our invite again. Yes. I know the last time you were here, we were in a different space. Now we're in a different space. You can see the growth, right?
I can see that.
You can?
Yes.
Are you happy for us?
Growth is eminent.
Are you happy for us?
Very happy. Very happy. Yes.
Thank you. But these are people who see our growth behind the scenes, but having him here in our studio. So thank you again for honoring our invite. The last time we had you here, we were talking about your story. We talked about your story.
Exactly.
We talked a little bit about security, but we didn't talk about it that much.
Yes.
But we felt like a lot went unsaid. So we are here to just talk about security and safety.
Yes.
In depth.
Yes.
I don't know how long we are going to record for this episode, but feel free to tell us anything and everything about security.
Yes.
But karibu sana. I hope you've been well. I hope your family is doing great.
Yes.
They are?
Yes.
Okay. I think utajiintroduce to tena. Okay. Because I know the last time some people, we do have a lot of subscribers who have just joined us and they do not know you. So you can go ahead. This is your camera. Introduce yourself, what you do, and then we will start.
Thank you very much, Trazian. And so to say, Polly, for the call.
Thank you.
Much of it is allergy because actually we had a dry spell. Sometimes it was quite dry and dust was a lot. And people are usually sensitive to dust. Then all of a sudden, I started raining. So that is expected.
Yeah.
But it's an allergy. You're going to get well.
Thank you.
And I would say, well, it's not that you're telling us you have the code. We can't hear it. You can't feel it. You are.
My throat is going
lady.
through it.
Yes.
I'm having a very...
You are strong, I must say.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to show up.
Yes. I'm Joseph Gikonyo Mwaniki, and I'm happy. I'm happy actually to be here, even for the second time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome. So we were talking a little bit behind the scene. We were talking about security and safety. So you can go ahead and define the two. Oh, you've not told people you've worked in security, for those who did not know.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I've worked actually in the security field for over 27 years. And so to say, I'm humbled because through experiences I've learned a lot, much of it on what we call the OJT. I hope you know what OJT means.
I don't.
It means the abbreviation to say on-job training.
Okay.
Because actually you would get expatriates even to come to train us on security and safety matters. So over the 27 solid years, I thank God that I happily received the training, which I don't mind sharing with the people. Yes.
Okay. So have you specified in any kind of security? Am wewe ni ngwiji wa anything security?
I will say from my training, actually I did electronic science, and much of what actually I'm deep within of adults. I'm an all-round person as far as security and safety are concerned.
Okay.
But much of it is electronic security because, as I said, I did electronic science. And much of it, electronic security, is what I have it at the tip of my hand. But going through that, you cannot just do electronic security alone. It comes actually even from a background where I was working, we were handling anything security. Everything security, including where you do manned security. We had security dogs. We had what we usually called skygistic tracking. Those things like those.
Yeah.
That is tracking the vehicles which are on transit, and everything to do with about security. I had actually an opportunity to work on that.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. We can start by defining or having the difference in security and safety. Let's define
Exactly.
the two. Yeah.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, allow me, because I may not get an opportunity, to say Beyond the Pulpit.
Yeah.
It's taking big strides.
Thank you.
And I would say this actually from what I said the other time, there will come to a time you say, we started right there, and you see where we are at the moment.
Amen.
This is a good example to say that you have a full-fledged studio which can handle everything that pertains to studio work. And I thank God for that, to be, I'm happy to be associated, so to say.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I would like to congratulate you, actually, because you've been working relentlessly as a team. You have the team. I would like to say you are the right people for this job. And actually, you are a team of experts. As far as I'm concerned, you are the team of experts.
Thank you.
And actually, I would like to tell you, take courage and the sky will be the limit.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Most
Thank you. I
welcome.
hope the crew wamesikia.
Yes.
Mmeitwa experts.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Most
Thank
welcome.
you,
Most
thank you,
welcome.
thank you.
Yeah.
Those are nice words.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Security and safety.
Yes, I would like to say, first and foremost, like what people usually say, security and safety starts with you as a person. And I would like to take a different turn as far as description is concerned. Yes, you say security starts with you.
Yeah.
It usually happen even like what our government usually tell us. Because in most cases is where you can detect, you can be in a position to report an insecurity, you can be in a position to report a crime which is about to happen. But I would like to say where it starts with you is that you have to accept yourself first as a person. You have so many people. In fact, about 70% of the people you'll meet in this world, they will start by disapproving you. And it's quite unfortunate because actually, first line of disapproval, even, I'm sorry to say, from the teachers actually who have raised up all the way from to the level. And you get some telling you'll never become anything. When you tell that in the mind of a person, it may evolve and it may grow.
True.
So I would tell you, you are the person that you would like to say, to be, and actually you are the best form of yourself.
True.
So trust yourself and let security, take that security be you. I was telling somebody that you are the origin of yourself. You are not a duplicate, you are the original. And in this case, you get so many people disapproving you. You cannot manage. You cannot do this. You get so many people telling you that. But deep inside yourself, don't let it sink within you. Tell yourself you're born with a purpose. And you tell yourself, I can make it. I can make it. Because actually there's a guy who said, I can be where I want to be. If I work hard indeed, I can be where I want to be.
Yeah.
That's what I would like actually to tell everyone, because you are the original of yourself.
Yeah.
And like the way you have the thumbprints, which are not identical to any other one, including the thumbprints of an identical and fraternal twins. You are yourself.
True.
And there's no any other person who is you. The engineers you have around here, they are their own people. And like the way the Bible, if you allow me to quote, in the book of 2 Timothy 1:7, it says, God has not given us the spirit of fear. But what he has given unto us, if we can even refer, that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, the spirit of love, and the spirit of sound mind.
Wow.
So you have to take that one within yourself. Don't fear anything this world. Cob the wilderness. Cob everywhere. And you will emerge to be the person you want to be. Don't look at the people who are ahead of you. They had their time to walk and be where they are. You also have the time. If you cannot walk, crawl. If you cannot actually, like what they usually do, say, if you cannot fly, you walk. If you cannot walk, you crawl. And by the end of the day, you are going to get where you want to be. That's where I would like to start with the security. Now you requested me to explain and give the difference between security and safety.
Yes.
Because that's where I want actually to start with. The difference between security and safety. I would like to tell you, you cannot separate. If you cannot talk of safety in the presence of security, you'd rather even not talk of security.
Yeah.
Because those are two sides of the same coin. Safety and security are two sides of the same coin. By that tells you they are usually very together. Because in a coin you have the head, you have the tail.
Yeah.
But in one coin. And I would like to say, on a light touch, there are two sisters living slightly different in different places. Like a good example, you can have somebody, your sister, who is living in a place like on light touch in Modogashe, and the other one is living in a place which is called Samatal. But they are still sisters. So that is how security and safety cannot be differentiated. They are sisters from the same mother, but living differently. So that's where I would like to start with. Yes.
Yeah. Now let's get into knowing the difference, like the terminologies. I know they're the same.
Yes.
But someone could be wondering, what is security and what is safety? We've said that they're sisters, but again, they're different.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's define the two terms.
What I would like to say is that when you're talking of safety, we are referring to hazards. And that is usually unintentional. Those are, hazards usually come when you're not planning for them. You're not prepared for them. Like what you can see somebody boiling water, and you have somebody handles it in a way that, accidentally, to force on somebody.
Yeah.
That is actually a compromise of safety. It's not something you had planned for.
Yeah.
You are not planning to boil the water so that you can burn yourself.
True.
So that it happens unintentionally. But security is usually something which is planned for. The people who are preparing to commit a felony in your place, mostly they usually take their time to study you. They study your movement. They study even your compound, because the people who come to steal from you are not people who don't know your compound. You'll not get a person who is coming from very far to commit a crime in your place. You'll get people who understand your area very well. They even know where to cut the grill. They know even the intensity of the gauge of your grill. They know the tools to use. They know everything. So they plan for that. So we can say security, compromise of security is actually intentional. So people have that intention to come and rob from you or to come interfere in your place. And this is where we say safety is for hazard and security is for danger. Where you have insecurity is danger. Absence of danger, then you have security. That is why you can see it is one that prompts actually people to take precautions. And I would like to add on that to say there's something which is called prevention. That when you can only do it in safety, because when you avoid cables running across your house, when you're not having them in the studio,
I'm looking
when you're avoiding actually people to trap you as you walk along your house. To give a good example, when people are going to retire in bed, they switch off the light.
True.
And when you are waking up in the morning, you walk to where the switch is. If somebody came and put something in the line of where you are going to put the switch, it may actually entangle you.
True.
It may stab you and you fall.
True.
That is part of, safety.
Yeah.
And eventually, you get there's a hazard that has happened in between there. So that is actually is prevention. But actually, in security, that is protective. So there's prevention and there's protection. You get the two terms.
Yeah.
So something which is unintentional, you can prevent it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And something which is intentional, you
can
protect yourself against that.
Smart.
Those are two terms.
Yeah.
Protection and prevention.
Prevention is for safety, protection is for security.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That's the thing. Thank you very much that you got it faster.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes.
So with security,
yes,
you said you protect. Security, protection, safety,
yes,
prevention. Lazima niseme hivyo ndo nikumbuke.
Yeah, protection and prevention.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you say, so in let's start with safety.
Yes.
Safety is, I think it's more homely.
Yes.
When I think of security, I'm thinking of big things like protecting your home,
yes,
your company, your business. And I think when I'm thinking of safety, I'm just thinking of myself.
Yes.
When you've talked about boiling water, that's something I can do. Preventing.
Yes.
I can prevent tripping over cables and all of that.
Yes.
So let's get into safety.
Yes.
We do hear of safety hazards. I think I've heard of something like that. Even security hazards, but tumejua security see a hazard.
Exactly.
Tumejua security see a hazard, but I've heard of safety hazards.
Exactly.
We hear of such things. So let's get to understand safety and how to keep ourselves safe. Let's talk about now safety in depth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. If we talk about safety, it's usually described in 3 phases. We can have industrial safety, we have domestic safety, and then what we call online safety. In such a case. Because, as we say, security is you can prevent it. Actually, we can start with the industrial security or industrial safety. Is whereby, to give a good example, we have industry where people are working 24 hours. And you get when actually the first lot which was working during the day have left, including the boss has left. And then those who will be working now for the next shift until morning from the industry, because of security, and this is where now you match security and safety, they lock with padlock and they lock people inside.
Okay.
So if you can handle, it's quite a serious thing. If you can handle that, we had a scenario sometimes back when people burnt in a certain industry where they were working. And unfortunately, those people were working on corrosive things. They were working on flammable things. So you can see it as a place whereby safety and security was compromised.
Yeah.
So they burnt, actually. No. They did not have even an exit. They did not have an emergency. And this is where we need to look into. And that's people. whenever we are doing such a thing, there are people working in, we should make sure in the place they are safe, security, they have enough security, and even as far as hazards are concerned, they are safe. Because it's to make sure that the hazards are minimized, and to make sure, even if we are locking the gate to enhance security, the people working inside there are safe.
Yeah.
To start with, because it's fire, we have mentioned the fire. I can go straight and say now, as far as hazards are concerned, and in this case, the issue of fire, we have fire that can come from petroleum. We have fire that can come from gas, petroleum gas, or what we call LPG. LPG, if I can ask you on a polite note, do you know what LPG means?
I think I know, but I don't want to embarrass myself on camera.
Just try. Not on camera. You can try. Try is not bad. It's not bad. If you're comfortable, I don't want. Yeah, but you can try. Maybe you know it. According to me, I can see you know it.
Okay. Liquid petroleum gas.
Wonderful. Why were you feeling to mention? It says liquid petroleum gas.
Okay. I'm not dumb.
Oh gosh, you're very sharp. In fact, I'm happy.
Thank you.
Because actually it means, LPG means liquid petroleum gas. Because it is petroleum which is in gaseous state, and that is what in most cases we usually use in our houses. We use LPG gas. And so there is fire that comes from LPG.
Yeah.
There's fire that can come actually from petrol. Or petroleum. There's fire that can come from wood.
Yes.
And there's fire that can be caused by electricity and electrical appliances. If you get a short circuit on the equipment that we are using here in the studio, you can get as a hazard of fire. And I'll go straight to say how you can deal with every of them. If you want actually to extinguish fire that had been caused by gas, you cannot actually use water. Because water, which is called the HO2, and we have this present, gas is lighter, and it will float on water. So the water will burn even more.
Yeah.
Because actually water will go down, and then the gas will float up and continue.
Yeah. It will contribute to the combustion.
Exactly. In fact, it's going to escalate even it higher, and it's going to fuel it even more.
Yeah.
What you use in such a scenario, you use something which is the agent, which is called the foam. We have fire cylinders, which is called the fire extinguishers. Most of them know as those.
Yeah.
They are those which are based independently or differently. There is foam. We have carbon dioxide. We have what we call HO2, which is water. Direct is H2O.
H2O
is water, not H2O. Sorry, it's not HO2.
It's okay.
It's H2O. And then you have what we call the foam. So in such a scenario where you're having petroleum, you use the foam so that it may cover now. It may create like a blanket on top of gas. And it may also create maybe when you actually want to quench the fire that has come from petroleum, you also use that. That is why you can see if petrol spills over in some places, what they usually do, they use either sand or soil, or they use foam.
Soil. I've seen soil.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but if you go to a petrol station, they usually have a bucket of sand.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that.
Exactly. In fact, if you're very observant, you'll get it is for that purpose.
Okay.
If it spills over, they pour it on top of where it has spilled over.
Okay.
Exactly. Then
that's for petroleum.
Exactly.
You can use
petroleum,
sand, soil,
exactly.
or the foam cylinder.
Exactly.
Extinguisher.
You can actually apply the foam agent.
What's that foam made of?
That foam, actually, in most cases, it's made of agents that cannot, which are not combustible. They cannot catch fire. That foam cannot catch fire. So they are made, like, for example, we have agents like, for example, like asbestos. I'm not saying it's made of asbestos, but asbestos is not flammable. So there are agents that make foam or materials which are not combustible.
Wait, I think I remember you said asbestos, and I think the only place I've seen asbestos is when I was in high school in the chemistry labs. Our roofs were made of. I didn't know they were actually not flammable.
Asbestos are not flammable.
Oh, that's why.
That's why in chemical labs they are used. In fact, to be very honest, in government institutions, those many years, even the roofs used to be made of asbestos.
I didn't know it was like, oh, wow.
It's only that it came to be discovered is a little bit poisonous. You're not supposed to take water
You're not supposed
out
to take
of
water?
the roof made of asbestos.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's the way
Valid.
it is. That is the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So when you apply foam, it covers that.
Mm-hmm.
If you are quenching fire, which is made of electricity, which has come, the source is electricity, you cannot use water. Because water is a conductor of electricity.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the way it is that if, let's say, for instance, you are quenching fire, if you are trying to quench fire, which is coming from a three-phase, that can be detrimental and it can also be harmful to you. Yes, that's where now you go. You use the carbon dioxide, which is not flammable, or you use the foam in such a scenario. But never do the mistake of actually
water.
extinguishing fire, of which the source is electricity coming from fire. Then you have fire which can come out of wood. You know, we have industries which actually, you know, they make the wood pallets. They have industries which they make furniture, and it's true because actually it can come out of that.
Yeah, we've actually seen some fires from in furniture places. I think actually this year, like two months ago,
Exactly.
we saw one along Thika Road burning.
Oh yeah. In fact, that one you are comfortably allowed to use water.
Okay.
Because if you light fire, even with firewood, and you pour water, it just goes off.
Yeah.
So
Nata kuwasha jiko na mbao baridi, it's very hectic.
Thank you very much.
Inatoka.
A very, very good
to
example.
Our French people, I know, you know what that means.
It smokes a lot.
Yeah.
And actually it cannot light up. So that's the way you can see you can extinguish fire, which is the source is wood by
Use
water. It's also comfortable. You can also use something which is also called the foam. You're comfortable. In fact, almost every other agent, you can use that.
Oh, okay.
You know, so to say, I don't want to say that's a friendly fire, but friendly actually when you're coming to extinguish. Yes, you can use almost every agent. I want to give a good an example. It's not a very good example. The fire that broke up in a certain, garage. You know, this fully French garage. And that is where you have, including corrosive equipment, you have things which are combustible. You have a spirit, which also mixes the paint for the body, whatever spray and everything. So a certain guy, I don't know what he did, but I think he tried to ignite a vehicle in presence of the spirit. And what happened? He got fire.
Yeah,
and even his overall.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Unawasha gari na kuna moto inawaka mahali.
Exactly. So what happened is that the guy who actually wanted to help, maybe you have heard this story, followed the guy with an intention to help him. But the guy was running away with fire burning. So the guy was saying, stop, I want to help you. But at least did he know that the guy had taken the bucket that was full of spirit, and he thought it was water. So if he could have thought of actually putting off the fire on a person, thinking it's water, he could have killed the person by the water could have accelerated. Because he could have just thrown the spirit of the person on the cross and everything. So the guy knew what he was working on. And so he was running away with all the aprons and overalls burning. But eventually, people worked, and then that's why we need to have those hydrants, water rails. Yeah, one person actually decided to make good use of that. And the guy was running, of course, with breezes. Then the other thing, we go now to, that was industrial.
Yeah.
Then let's go to domestic.
Domestic, yeah.
Domestic usually happen, those hazards usually happen. There could be, they come from fire, that is boiling water. They come from the water wells. They come from the swimming pools. They come even from the buckets that have water. We have seen children actually drowning in buckets. Because, oh yes, full of water, it happens. It has happened.
I've not seen that. I've not heard of it.
Yes, because actually the kid, a toddler who just, managed to walk, can go and bed.
Oh yeah.
In a bucket.
Okay.
Once he tips and falls, the head
is inside.
The legs are already up and cannot be in a position to help him or herself. It's a very sad state. So whenever we are dealing with children on water, should be very careful.
Very sensitive.
We also had a scenario whereby The mother was cleaning actually the clothes, and he thought it's a good idea to have a floater with the kid in the swimming pool. You know, the floaters that are usually pressurized, you put pressure in it, and then it becomes a good thing, actually.
You just
the
place
floaters.
the kid up juu.
Exactly.
Mandani.
So she put the lovely your child, the daughter, in it. And when actually the daughter was enjoyed, it tipped. And then the head went down to the water and the legs were up, and the mother did not notice. So the cameras, when you're playing back the camera, the one that could tell what really happened. And the mother thought the kid is just worried, you know, the head is already occupied, the mind is already occupied in the loudly she was doing. And before she came to realize that it was too late. I don't want to say the words, but it was too late. The lovely kid actually drowned in that. So that is one of the hazards that we should be very careful about. And you see, that's a hazard, like we said, unintentional and could have been prevented. So, in fact, we are supposed, if you have a swimming pool within the compound, or you are living within a place with a swimming pool, in fact, that swimming pool should be well, fenced in a way that is only opened by somebody people who are called the lifesavers. So it's people who are going there, they are going actually with proper supervision. We also had a child, a boy, a boy has to be a boy. And they went with the boys actually, at the age of about 10 years. He did not know how to swim. But the guys, if you know how to swim, I'm not very comfortable in swimming. The other boys jumped into the pool. And it seemed like very good swimming, like fish to the other side and coming back. Then looked something very simple. So the guys, when they were jumping now for the second time, like a competition, the boy jumped. He never been in a pool before. And so he went to the deep end and stayed there for some time without anybody. When the water actually, with the bubbles, with the waves and the something, you cannot know this something which is happening. So the kid went very sadly, stayed there for some time. And only when the water cooled and stabilized, when they started asking, where is so-and-so? Maybe asking, where is Moniki? And then they started looking for him. And then whatever he was wearing, a red shirt, they saw it. Right down there.
Oh, no.
Yes. And it was too late again. So those are things that could be prevented.
Oh, no.
Domestic hazards can be prevented. Such things like those. Then to go very fast, there's a hazard that can come from the gas cylinders that we usually use. In fact, get your gas cylinders filled from competent people. Because they usually have the gauge by which they know this kind of a cylinder can only accommodate this kind of amount of pressure. But you get people, when we call the black market, they do the filling. And once they do the filling, they exceed the pressure to some extent, beyond. And every pressure, every pressure thing, it has an amount of pressure it can accommodate. So this guy bought and went with it at home. Parked the vehicle in the parking, looked around, closed the gate. When he was almost coming now to remove it, he had a loud blow. It's a burst, actually, so to say. But before then, the cylinder had already come from the boot area of the vehicle. It hit the wall, and before he figured out what is happening and started to run away, the cylinder had already come back and hit him on the head. You see, we are not very sure of what happened after that, because the creeper was watching, actually aided at a certain point. But I know it was catastrophic.
That is scary.
Yeah, it was catastrophic. Because, concealed pressure can be so dangerous. So to avoid those hazards, let's go to people who are approved and have the knowledge. Let's avoid this phrase that usually go, I know somebody cheaper.
Always, I know someone cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah. And they will cost you so much trouble.
It will cost you, and you'll go through it again.
They say cheap is expensive.
Exactly.
And it's true.
In the long run, it
is. True.
Maybe I can post there.
It is true.
Yeah, so that I may give you maybe.
Mimi, sister, what I've gotten a lot so far from the conversation we are having.
Yeah.
If you're working on fire that has been caused by petroleum, don't use water.
Yes.
Use sand.
Yes.
If it's gas, use foam.
Yes.
if it's wood, you can use water because it will cost you nothing.
Yes.
And it will not help in the combustion.
Exactly.
There was another one.
There is the one which is coming actually from there's
petroleum.
Yeah, there's petroleum,
gas,
there's wood. There's
or
gas.
LPG. You said foam also works.
Yeah.
With domestic, I think we've had so much.
Yes.
I think it was even last year, but one there was a celebrity who lost their son.
Yes.
Oh
my, so sad.
Through drowning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they drowned and they didn't notice.
Yeah.
Actually, their pool is even covered. I've seen people covering their pools these days. They use like electric things where it's covered and then you just open it up when you want to swim.
Yes.
So I think this time someone forgot to supervise the kid. Alienda tu, you were saying boys being boys. So alienda tu akacheza. Then they drowned.
Oh gosh.
And when they discovered him, it was too late. So we've seen that happening.
Very sorry.
Which is really sad. So with domestic, it is preventable, especially when it comes to kids and water.
Yes.
Kwanza these 3-year-olds who want to go anywhere and everywhere.
Yes.
They've just discovered they can walk, they can touch things, they can do anything. So it's better to just have them supervised 24/7, 365 every single second of their life.
Exactly. Until
they get to now an older age.
Yes.
But I've seen also parents teaching their kids from as early as 1 year to swim. I've seen there's a very famous chef here in Kenya. Some people attacked him there was a trainer in the pool.
Yes.
But now they were throwing their child in the pool so that he can swim. Yes. So I've seen that happening, which is also very preventive. In case the child is left unsupervised, they can handle themselves.
Exactly.
They know how to swim. Narusha depend.
Yeah.
But now, there are things that we do not see coming. There are some hazards we do not see coming. For example, there was a time when I was cooking chipo.
Yes.
Na nilirusha waru kwa mafuta moto tu iliwaka. I was like, now nyumba ya mama Maina iko karibu kuchomeka.
Yes. Oh my.
I was so shocked. Hadi nilisema sipiki chipo tena.
Yes.
It was so shocking. There's some things we do not see coming. But now, thank God, hiyo moto tu ilienda juu.
Yes.
And then it was juni slab juu. Nothing happened. I can now imagine if there were curtains nearby, it would have burnt.
And you know, it's something scary.
Yeah.
If it gets the curtain.
I was shaking. I was like, no, what am I going to tell my mother?
Oh, yes.
What am I going to tell my mother? Nilikuwa nachoma nyumba nikipika chipo.
Oh, gosh.
I was so scared.
You see, this is where you say it's unintentional.
It is very unintentional.
It could have burned the house.
So innocent.
Oh, yeah. You are very innocent.
I was so innocent.
Yes.
Yeah. Another time, I remember when you're talking about cylinders and your story of cylinder, so scary. But there's a time, my mom, gas iliniishia kwa nyumba, so I had to call iletwe.
Yes.
And I think these people had filled it too much.
Yes.
So it was leaking out. Even after they've connected it, I could
hear
and smell the leakage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was skeptical because niliambiwa with gas, hata ukiwasha stima, it can blow up.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just quiet in the house. And I'm alone.
Yes. Oh, gosh.
I am alone. I was like, today cannot be the day I die.
Yes.
Today cannot be the day because I can smell it. I can hear it. It was so scary. So I had to call them back. And I was like, cheki, chukueni gas yenu. And then mufinye itoke so that you can give it back to me, because now I was skeptical.
Oh, yes.
Lights were on everywhere, but I was like, siguze stima. Because I've heard of stories of gases just
see now the worst of it without cutting
up.
You short. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that for gas, you are buying it so that it may help you to cook.
Yeah.
So there must be fire.
There has to be fire. I was actually about to just make breakfast.
Exactly.
And then I can smell some gas leakage.
Gosh. Yes.
And we
thank God that you had to feel it before the worst happened.
It was too late. Yeah.
So in such a scenario, I would advise, if you feel something like that, take it out. Because outside the house, because the worst happens when the gas concentrates within the house. You know, it's leaking and it has concentrated within the house.
Yeah.
That's when it burns almost everything in the house. But when it's out, it leaks and goes into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So it gets distributed in a way that is even the amount that will be concentrated where it cannot combust. So if you feel something like that, I would like to advise people, if you detect there's anything wrong with your gas cylinder, put it outside, far from people. If it has to burst, let it burst there. If it has to leak gas, let it leak actually from far from people. Then the other thing I would like to tell you, because that was a sad story of you trying to cook the chips, and then because it comes, there is a way it boils very fast, and then when you put it there, those are usually vapor that usually react with the hot oil. Yes, of course. If you put something dry in oil, nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen, yeah.
But like for potatoes, you wash them first.
Yes.
You cut them into pieces. Coming from the water, you put them. So that's a reaction between oil and hot oil and water. So that's why now when that vapor is going up, is accompanied by oil, which is flammable.
It is flammable.
Yeah, so
ni ukweli curtains zingekuwa karibu ningekuwa
nimechoma. Yes, ungechoma kabisa. And what you're supposed to do is that in the house, in the kitchen, it's good that you mentioned this. You need something which is called the fire blanket. You know the fire blanket? You just pull it's somewhere which usually something that you hang. It's something which is bought actually as a present.
Oh, okay.
And then when you see it happen like that one, don't panic. Just pull an amount and cover now the whatever, the pan. When you cover the pan, that quells the fire completely. If you don't have the fire blanket, take anything that is around. Even if it's a blanket itself, dip it in the water, and if now the fire is too much and you want to save somebody, let's say for instance it's already caught the curtains, has already caught, the worst of it is usually the 4 mattresses. If you get to that to some extent, you go to a level, including the seats, the sofas, with the couches we sit on, they are made of mattresses. If it gets fire, to some extent it becomes hard.
Just burn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if it's happening, the first thing that people usually do, which is a mistake, is to panic. And when you panic,
it's a mistake.
It's a mistake.
It's an immediate reaction.
It is actually it's a reaction.
It's valid. We are human.
Yes, and you have brought a word that you are going to use here.
Yeah.
The reaction, because security is a reaction.
Yeah.
And safety to some extent, when it has happened, that's the way. And actually, we say when you have panicked and walked out, you start calling out. In fact, most of the people do not even call for help.
Yeah.
They call God. And people, what is happening? Jesus! And then before you start saying fire, and even explaining where, especially for ladies, I'm sorry about that.
No, true. Actually, sometimes I freeze. I remember when the fire was going up, I just froze for a minute. For like 5 seconds, and I was like, okay, wait. Let me turn this off first before things get worse.
In fact, it was good that you did that.
It's an immediate reaction. I mean, panicking.
Gosh, that was very good. Turning the source of fire off.
Yes, I had to.
It was the best.
Panicked. Yeah.
Then, if by any chance somebody is trapped in the house, because there could be a kid in the house, there could be somebody, a scenario whereby when actually what people are killed by the smoke, because the one that chokes them.
Oh yeah.
And then by that one, when are choked by the smoke, you lose even the sense of direction. You're coming from the bedroom, which you have walked from every day, in and out. But when actually the smoke fills the house, you lose the sense of direction.
True.
By that one, if you want to say somebody, take a blanket, dip it in water, wrap yourself in it. Yes, get into the place that even having fire.
Oh.
Make sure, hold the person, take him to the place of your safety.
Okay.
That one, when actually, because to some extent, that one, fire will not get to you because actually cannot penetrate the blanket with water. That's the best way you can do it as a precautionary measure. And by that time, you have already saved a kid.
Yeah.
You have saved somebody.
Yeah.
And actually, you feel it's great when you have saved the life of a person.
True.
So that's what happens.
Okay.
You mentioned something. Maybe you want to say something?
No. You can proceed.
There's something you said before it gets out of my fingers. Security, we can term that, is a reactive. For you to put security measures, most of the people do not do it until they hear, my neighbor has been attacked.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
In places where you have security, you get that they don't even have gates.
True.
There are some, so to mention, there are some countries without mentioning the names.
We see that.
Which are very secure.
And their homes are very open.
Exactly. You just drive in the open.
Hakuna gates.
Exactly. And you get to a certain place whereby you can see that is Cyrus, that is Trezian, that is Mwaniki.
Yeah, you can literally see them getting out of their house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They get out of the house, they get to their cars, they drive off.
Yeah.
So
I've seen that in the US, even in movies when they're parking on the streets, they even leave their windows down. You're like,
yes,
this can never be
in
Kenya.
areas where security,
Can never be Kenya.
where security is not compromised. So what I was saying is that the devices you use is a reactive measure.
Okay.
That is insecurity.
Okay.
In security, you react to something that has already happened. If you hear Mwaniki was attacked, you know, you'll know that route, I won't follow that route. You take precautionary measures.
Yeah.
If you hear my house was broken into and there were thugs and criminals in my house, that's when you think you are going to have now the electronic devices.
Yeah.
You are going to have now, we'll discuss about as we move.
Yeah.
But I would like to tell you that in most cases, how to address a hazard is through education and training. Yes. The company I was working for was very strict on something we call occupational health and safety.
Okay.
It's called OHS in abbreviation, which is occupational health and safety. Occupational means is a place you're occupying, you know, because you cannot actually be affected by hazard, which is in Juja and you're here. It will affect the people who are already in the surrounding.
True.
So that's why it's called occupational health and safety. So if that is the case, if you're working in an industry, make sure that the safety measures are taken in place properly.
Yeah.
So that one can be in most cases. In fact, we had a fully fledged team that used to make sure we are compliant to safety. Yeah, in the working place.
Yeah.
In some industry, the big industry, without mentioning the names, you get that when you get right at the gate, safety is taken care right from there. Because there's a place you have the forklift, you have even moving machines.
Yeah.
Because of the production, you have the packaging taking to the dispatch, taking to, you know, to the finished goods stores, such. And right at the gate, when you're ushered in, you are told that there's a track you're supposed to follow.
Yeah.
And actually, even the footsteps are drawn.
Yeah.
So that there's the way you go. When you're going to the reception, there's a place which is well drawn, go this direction.
Yeah.
And the arrow is well put, stipulated. Because we also have a body of standardization, which I'll mention that, which is called international. It's called Bureau Veritas. You know. And they used to make sure that everybody is compliant to safety measures. Working place, safety measures are well taken care of. Because if, let's say, for instance, in this studio where we are, we need to have safety measures. We need all the people who are here.
True.
If you're not taking care of the place which is there, and there's a fire outburst that, God forbid, consumes all of us, we need everyone who is here, even to get to the standard, and even the future stride we are going to take after this. So that usually happens, and it can be actually through training. And this is why actually most of the people usually say that in most cases, what you usually do is that you curb it through training and education. Educate people on do's and don'ts. Yeah. If you are working in an industry, avoid running in the industry. What are you running for? Unless you have run Basak, you are not supposed to run in the industry.
True.
You could be learning, and by this time is when I'm actually drawing my loader.
Yeah.
And then I'm not seeing somebody who is passing. You know, there was a good reason as to why it was said. When you're crossing the road, look right, look left, look again.
Right again.
And then you cross slowly, but not running. Because when you are, yes. Yeah. Why have you smiled? You have crossed the road
I ran.
No, you're supposed to go slowly so that somebody who is on a motorbike or in a vehicle can see there's somebody who has already started walking on the zebra crossing. Or has already started crossing the road. Do not run. You may run, and the other person was just near you. And so you collide. It usually happens.
Yeah.
That's a hazard. So you're supposed to look right, look left, then look right again. Then you cross the road without forgetting slowly. Because walking slowly, you'll be in a position to go. In fact, you don't add that look right again. In fact, I tell people, keep on looking both sides. It's about your life and your security. Go cross, and especially in a place whereby the rule of law is not observed. Sorry to say, in our country, especially, sorry to say, we have the people who ride the bikes. Yeah. Carrying the pillions.
It is known. Yeah. We're not even bashing them. It is known,
Yes. That a vehicle will give you a way to cross, and then a motorbike just crosses with a high speed in front of you.
Recklessly.
Exactly.
They do not care.
So that's why you're supposed to cross the road, look left, look right, look right again.
Yeah.
Then you cross looking both sides. Do not stop at looking right again. Then you cross to the other side.
Yeah.
So those ones are usually there. You're not supposed to run that way we were in the industry. Just
walk slowly.
Yeah. Yes.
And even when it comes to security, safety matters in companies.
Yes.
I see companies really trying to their employees.
Yes.
If it is let's say, I don't know, I think there was a scandal, but I can't remember which company it was affecting, where their employees were complaining that they don't have gloves and they're handling very dangerous, I think, materials and chemicals. They don't have good shoes to wear and maybe safety the chemicals. Boots, these are things that are very essential, especially in big companies and organizations where they're handling chemicals and all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I see in industries, they're called industries.
Yes.
In industries, you see the employees wearing very heavy shoes.
Yes.
Very heavy and secure shoes.
They're called safety boots.
Yeah, and those ones.
Yes.
Those ones, and they're very heavy.
Exactly.
You see them wearing coats. If it's loud, the industry is allowed, the machines are loud, they're provided with earmuffs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Earmuffs. They have gloves. They even have helmets in case things drop from. So we do see that, and some the industries that do that are really helping people.
In fact, we call them in one word the PPEs. You know what it means?
I had this during COVID.
Let me start
Personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Protective equipment.
Thank you very much.
I'm smart.
I'm telling you, you could have come to a place whereby I was the head of occupational health and safety. You get employed outright. Kazi mara moja.
Nianze kuandika CV.
Exactly. Because actually, if you haven't failed in any question that was asked concerning safety or security.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's called personal protective equipment. They are called the PPEs.
Yeah.
And then they usually have, in most places, they usually have something which is called the operational procedures. They have the operational procedures, and that is properly outlined. That whenever you are even entering such places, even as a visitor, you don't with the PPEs, otherwise you cannot be allowed in.
True.
Yes, they shall have them in the room where the changing room, whereby you wear. It's like you entering the ICU, whereby you can easily catch
contract this.
Exactly. You are given the PPEs.
The masks.
Exactly. Those are called
gloves.
the PPEs.
Okay.
So that usually happen. And actually, most of the industries, they usually take safety even more serious than security.
True.
Yes.
Yeah, because security you can do not take very much attention in, but if you're working with a lot of people, you have a lot of employees, their safety matters. Their safety should be paramount.
Exactly.
Yeah. Are we done talking about safety? I don't think I have another question on safety.
Yes.
We can go to security now, where
we can thank you very much. In fact, what we have said is that security calls for reactivity.
Yeah.
And in most cases, we can be in a position actually to advise this one and separate it with something which is called, and before I go to that, I'll say that safety measures are implemented in advance against something we call direct or collateral injuries. That one we mentioned. So direct or collateral injuries, they are prevented from happening.
Yeah.
And then security measures are implemented in response to criminal activities or violence that has already occurred. So you react to something that has happened to somebody. Somebody who has already told you, usiwahi pitia hapo. Please, when you see somebody and so he's the one who mugged me, and you've been thinking that person Moniki is the best of the people.
No.
Yes.
They will mug you too.
And I said, wherever you are going, you should hold people of the world with a pinch of salt, a little bit of pinch of salt. Not giving all your trust on everybody.
Yeah.
Let's have a second test of the people you are dealing with.
Yeah.
So when you're coming actually to security, these reactive measures is whereby you're having the measures of things like, security dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You're having electronic devices like fencing,
Mm-hmm.
electric fencing.
Mm-hmm.
You have something we call automatic doors, which are opened with the remote.
Mm-hmm.
So that if you find you are not very secure entering your gate, we have automatic doors whereby you can open a gate from a distance of about 400 meters.
Mm-hmm.
You don't open it when you are very far, because you can also open it to somebody who is waiting for you to open. Then he enters.
Outside.
So open it when you are at a distance of about 50 meters.
Mm-hmm.
You can see actually the gates riding out.
Mm-hmm.
So that is part of security.
Mm-hmm.
I'd advise people, whenever you are able to do that, invest in that. So you have a remote which can operate from a comfortable range, line of sight, 100 meters. There are those that can operate all the way from 200 meters. And you also have some things which are called the gate alert.
Gate alert.
Yeah, gate alert. Mm-hmm. Usually is something, a device, a remote you carry in the car. And then in the gate house, it beeps. Mm-hmm. So if the guard was slumbering or sleeping, he can hear the beep and know my boss is coming.
Yeah.
So that is usually what we usually call the internal, committee arrangement, because not any other person who knows what is happening.
Oh, so si kelele nasikika na kila mtu.
Ni kelele itaamsha tu askari ambao wako hapo.
Watchman.
Exactly. Okay. Yes. So you press it from wherever you are, and then the guard actually can open the gate for you. Or you can press it, the guard knows is my boss who is going. Now the next thing to do is to press the button for opening the gate.
Yeah.
So it usually happen like that. And they are very, like, the gate alert is not very expensive.
Really?
Yes.
Sounds expensive.
No. It's just the term. Gate alert, and then bearing in mind that is something you're operating from far, that should not scare you. A gate alert, just something, in fact, it's something, a beep that you put in the guardhouse. Of course, it's powered, and then it has a receiver from the remote that you're going to press from your car.
Yeah.
So when you get to about 50, 70 meters, just press it. When you get nearer now, you can press the button for opening the gate. So that tells you, I'm coming, I'm on the way. When you see the gate opening, it's me who is doing it. So you just drive in. Instead of waiting at the gate, then immediately, those gates usually have something which is called anti-passback.
What?
Anti-passback.
Oh, okay.
Anti-passback is where now we have security gadgets, and you allow me to use these ones, which are called access controls. Is the next of the items that you usually use. In fact, I would request you, team, which is here, in this place, you have something which is called the access control.
Our studio.
Yeah, exactly. The studio.
Okay.
Studio is a sensitive place.
It is. We are very expensive.
We had sometimes back whereby people are talking about terrorism. And when we were talking about it, they had a terrorist in a bad way.
Yeah.
And those guys went and they attacked their studio. Somewhere within town. It happened. It's only that I'm not going to mention the names because of something we call the data protection. And actually they went and poured, petrol.
Wait, they burnt down the studio?
They did not actually, by God's, actually it was even faith-based studio.
Okay.
Yeah, we can discuss off the camera.
Okay.
I'll tell you it happened. It's already in the whatever.
Okay.
In the domain, in the public domain. So when they were televising a certain program, which was very sensitive, and it was touching on terrorism.
Oh.
Did they know that some of these people were involved, the planners, are usually around.
What?
When you, like what I told you, when you see a criminal activity happening, it's not somebody who has come from Jamaica.
No, it's
not. It's not somebody who has come from very far.
It's an inside person.
It's just at your footstep there.
It's your neighbor.
Exactly. Who knows your movement, who knows about your daily movement budget, movement plan, everything. Yeah. Knows you even by names.
True.
And knows what they usually do. When they are committing this felony, they come knowing the way of escape. That is about security. When they are coming within the premise, and that's why we are usually advised, and I'll advise people that I'm mentioning here, don't leave landers lying freely within your compound. Lock them somewhere. Don't leave paggers and access with your compound. You are leaving some devices that are going to be used to kill you.
Yeah.
Paggers, those things, lock them somewhere. Access, the fork jabbers, those things, lock them somewhere in the store. And then what usually happen is that in most places, I was talking of this place. You need to have access control.
Access control.
Whereby you have the tab. That's only people who are allowed to come here can come. Those are part of security measures. Then when I was talking about the anti-passback. You want to try what it is?
I don't know. I've never even heard of it. Sijui.
It's walk and then you pass through the same.
Oh, pass back.
You know what it means.
Back.
That when you're already passed, you cannot.
Oh, you cannot go back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that tells you cannot just drive through a certain door. Or let me just use a good example. There's a security measure that's used in malls, whereby you have the boom barriers. You know the boom barrier, electronic boom barriers?
No.
You have seen them.
Ni hizi zenye mtu anapitanga through?
No, boom barriers are just the way they're barriers. You know the barriers.
Oh, wait, for the vehicle.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Why they are called the boom barriers? Because they boom down.
Okay.
And then those usually have something which is called anti-passback.
Oh, yeah, you can't drive back.
Exactly. And nobody behind you can drive through it.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay because it just open when you pull a ticket.
Yeah.
Which will be used when you're going now to pay back for you to be allowed to exit. It happens also in the airport. So once you pay for the time you have stayed there, you use the receipt by which you used, which has also recorded the time by which you entered.
True.
That's what we call the anti-passback boom barriers. We also have something which are called the bollards. Bollards.
Okay.
You want to try it to know what they are?
No.
Yeah, it's the same kind of access control, but for vehicles. But in places you have gone to a place whereby those who take safety very seriously, they have something that you pass in account mtu moja. Somebody behind you cannot actually, it's called a turnstile. You know turnstile?
No.
Yeah, you push it. You have seen it in banks most of the times.
Okay.
Even the doors.
Oh, ni kale kakitu kaninukanga.
No, what happens?
It rises from the ground.
Is that in the banks most of the times, especially when you're queuing, it looks like a big door. Ukipita to it locks the somebody behind you.
This is a chuma.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then when the person enters again, it locks the person behind him.
You have to maybe use a card.
Exactly. That's the thing. Those are called the turnstiles.
Turnstiles.
Exactly. The others which are made of something that you push, it rolls like this.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh,
and it can also be used to count the time the people have gone in. Very, very sensitive. Because in case of fire, and you need to assemble in a place which is called the fire point, the system can be in a position to say from this time to a certain time, watu wale wako hapa this amount. Because when you're leaving, it also record. Because you're using the card by which you used
to get in.
So it counts, it deducts.
Yeah.
So when you're entering in, it adds. But when you're leaving, it deducts. So it can be in a position to give you accurately the people who are in this building on this compound,
wow.
this much.
That is so cool.
Very important.
That is very cool.
There are things that people have never thought about, but usually happen. So those turnstiles and bollards, so that we don't lose that grip.
Yeah, what's bollards?
Bollards are part of access controls, but for vehicles. Instead of using the boom barriers, the bollards usually come from down.
Yeah, I think I've seen that in movies.
Those are they are even in our country.
I've not seen them in our
the
country,
airport,
but I think I've seen them in.
I won't tell you to visit the airport like somebody told us.
Tuliambiwa tukanyage airport. This might be my reason to just go and see the bollards.
Please kanyanga airport.
Niacha niende nikanyage airport.
Exactly. In fact, we also have like the trains we're having these days, including the express. They shall have security measures which are at the level of the airport. Yeah. So bollards, those bollards, when actually they also have that anti-passback. So when actually you take the card, they suppress down. Yeah. Then you can drive. Yeah. If any other person thinks that he's going to drive without the card, they come up. They crash the vehicle.
And they're very fast. They need to be very fast.
Exactly. Yeah. And if a care need to be taken, so that the person who in the safety room do not just press the button there. Yeah. It can really damage your car once it's coming from up down. When we have the locks, which are very important. They're common things. And I'll talk a little bit about the locks. When as a security precaution, if you go and buy a house somewhere, however expensive the lock could be, make sure that you change the locks. Sometimes the locks usually come with about 6 keys. But when you're buying the house, you may be given the 4 keys. What level do you get to ask where are the rest of the keys? You're not even very sure they were there. But you don't know, somebody who has a certain intention safeguarded the keys. So instead of all these rubber and asking where the keys were, the rest of the things, go buy your own locks, chase them. And especially for the main entry doors. The rear doors for the entry that are exiting outside. However expensive they are, you cannot manage to buy a house which is 10, 15, 20 million. And then a lock which is going for 5,000. You must be having money for that. Very secure. You can be thinking you have already shifted in. A week after, somebody do not break. Just open the lock and gets to right to your bedroom and meets you there. So change the locks. That's a precaution I would like to tell you.
Sure.
That's what I would like to speak about the locks. Then there's a place I would like to tell you, and this we should marry security and safety. In places like here, you should have a door that in case of any hazard, you don't need to struggle to open. You just press a handle that opens for you.
Okay.
And for safety precautions, making sure, like in industries, it usually happens a lot, or in offices, they have something, emergency doors, that you don't struggle to try to open. You suppress it, just go hold the bar, suppress it, and you just open.
It opens.
But to make sure that nobody steals from the industry and takes advantage of that, that is where you marry safety and security. You have some things which are called the break glass. And in that case, you lock the key inside. Yes. There are break glasses which are just near the door.
True.
That you put the key inside. Yes, you can put the key inside. If the door maybe do not have those safety. That you can just break the glass
and
then remove the key. You open the door and walk out. So in such a scenario, is where now that when you break the glass, it presses a certain button which is inside and alert a security company. So it knows.
Do we have that in our country?
We have a lot of them. I've installed a lot of them.
Really?
Yeah.
These are things I've only seen in movies, honestly.
No.
American movies.
We don't need to fear this.
Yeah, we see there's like a glass here.
Exactly.
Someone breaks it, accesses the door.
Exactly. In fact, the one that is having that one is called a key guard.
A key guard.
Key guard is usually, you can see the key from inside, but once you try to remove it, it raises an alarm. Both locally, there are sirens which are inside, you remove the key, you open, but before you open, the backup people of the service provider are already there. So if there's something that is happening, they are the first responders. They'll call the fire company. They'll call, if the nurses, they'll call the hospitals, and they'll be in a position. So that's where you marry safety and security. Yes.
Okay.
Then these are the glasses. There are some other glasses which are used. Actually, if you are working in an industry and the doors are okay, fine. We usually have. We are supposed, as a precaution for safety, you are supposed to have the exit points, which are well marked.
True.
In fact, they are well marked in a way that they even light and illuminate every time, whether day or night.
True.
So that when you're running away and something has burst, you don't need stride, because the mind is a very, very, it's made in such a way that when you panic, to some extent, I don't know what happens, you lose your memory.
I told you, you panic, you freeze.
Exactly.
You freeze everything. It's like you don't have even common sense.
Exactly. That's why I understood you.
Yeah.
When actually you wondered what to do and the fire has just, in fact,
panic.
You're even sensitive enough. Yeah. I like your reaction because you switched off the source of fire. Yes.
After freezing for like 5 seconds.
That was good. In fact, that thought, that's why I'm telling you, when such a thing like that has happened, your mind goes for a recess a little bit.
Yeah.
So what happens? The people who are near a certain place should have those fire grasses. When the fire has broken, it may break to in a certain section where you are not working. But the people who are there, that's why they should have a break grasses in a way that you press it. And then it raises an alarm all through, fire alarm all through. Then people can use the exit point and go to an assembly point. Do you know why you shall have the fire assembly point?
An assembly point when there's fire. Let me guess. Let me try. Let me give it a try.
Yes.
Is to ensure
that
everyone who was inside the building is accounted for and is in a safe area.
Very good. if I was the manager, you have the job straight away.
Mimi acha nianze kuandika CV nitume kwa kampuni za
to me, you are
security.
hired. As far as I'm concerned, you're hired. That simply means once you have already conversed there, you take the head count of the people who are inside the building. And then from there, you can say, I had Tracy Ann, who was working next to me. Where is she? You can say, I had Moniki, who was seated where I was. Where is he? Then measures can be taken how you are going to be retrieved now from the building. Such a thing like that. That's why you have the assembly point.
Okay.
And you have got it right. In fact, 98%.
Tick!
Exactly. And you know, it's only that I'm cautious enough to give you a point of improvement. I could have given you 100%, but there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, there's a lot I didn't know about the bollards and all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back to you. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, security is a lot to learn from. I think these are things I like I said, I've seen them in movies. For the thing, I think we call it turnstiles.
Yeah, turnstiles.
Turnstiles.
Yeah.
Those ones, I think I've seen them in companies. I've seen them in malls.
Yes.
I didn't know the vehicle ones are called boom
barriers.
Boom barriers.
Yes.
I didn't know. Like, I'm learning a lot. I'm really learning a lot,
so
and I can
I'm
see
humbled.
security is. It's
wide.
it's wide and it's very basic, but we
Yes.
don't think of it like that.
Yes.
It's very like, I think mimi nikijenga nyumba nitakupigia simu.
Yes.
Unieke the automatic and the car alerts and all of those things, because
Yes,
I mean these things are easy.
Yes.
When you said it's once someone close to you experiences something different and they tell you, mimi niliibiwa labda sijui nini kwa nyumba yangu, that's when you think I need
react to it.
Yes. I remember last year but one in our estate there was a series of a lot of thefts.
Exactly.
We had people being stolen for their car tires, their side mirrors,
yes,
their what else? Like, things were just being stolen.
Oh yes.
Then now that is when the elders in the community decided now we need to have a gate.
Yes.
We need to have a CCTV. We need to have 3 watchmen. We need to have like all of these security measures
as a reaction.
Yes. To people losing their radios, to losing their side mirrors, to losing their tires, to windscreens and windows being broken. Like, it took a lot for that to happen. Right now, I mean, I even feel very safe. I feel very secure and very safe getting home.
Exactly.
Because I know I'll get through one gate and then there's another one. And then I know when once I'm inside our court, there's a CCTV, so no one can come get me.
Oh, yeah.
No one can come get me.
Happy to hear
so
that.
it is nice to feel, and I mean, security it's very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
The feel of security actually.
It's very
gives you peace of mind.
Very much.
When
you can even walk freely.
When you see you're at a place where you're out of danger. In fact, you can sleep comfortably.
Very comfortably.
Sleep at peace.
True. I can even go out of the house at night.
Yes.
Because I know I'm safe.
Yes.
I'm secure. Nothing around me can... At least if anyone tries anything, there's CCTVs, there's people around, there's a watchman, there's all of that. And
exactly.
that let me know. I can... Nimejisikiliza nikiongea. And we've talked about watchmen and CCTVs. You know, someone might think I have a CCTV, I don't need a security guard, or I have a security guard, I don't need a CCTV.
Yes.
Are those two very important, or you can have one and the other one is not necessary?
If you can manage, because all calls for fads, you can have
all of them.
But and the two of them serve different purposes. You can have a guard who is also a thief. Sorry about that. I know you hadn't thought of that.
What?
There's not a person. It's not your brother. It's not your sister. And in these cases, we even have brothers and sisters who are thugs, who are thieves. Who want actually to take your necklace once you remove it and put it. And next time, you're not finding it there.
Yeah.
That's why I told you, trust people with a pinch of salt. That's what I do all the time. What usually, it's important.
Yeah.
You can combine all of them, but they have priorities.
Yeah.
In fact, first, what I would request you to do, if you're not at a place whereby you need the gate opened, you need actually start with the alarm security for the house. Install the alarm security, because that will alert you when actually there's an intruder. There are those that we even use the GSM, whereby GSM is a global system. It can transmit to your phone. Once something has happened in your home, you're in South Africa, you're in America, you are in Scandinavian countries, it can be in a position to tell you what is happening at home. It's something that you can even use your phone to disarm the system or to arm the system. If your sister tells you, I'm right at your door, then you tell her, oh, sorry, I had gone for holiday. I'm at Hawaii or Maui for that matter. You can disarm the system through your phone from wherever you are. And that is readily available. That's where you use the GSM modules. So with that one, it can tell you when there's an intruder at home. So have the alarm first as a priority. Then, after an alarm, have now what we call the CCTV. Because the CCTV will be in a position to tell you that your guard is the one who took a certain thing from a certain place. It's the one that will tell you, my brother or my sister is the one who took the whatever. Is the one who removed the tire for my car. Such a thing like that. And so to say, alarm system is a deterrent. But CCTV is investigative. Because actually, it's aftermath that you go to play back to see what has happened. But an alarm will deter somebody from entering. Electric fence will deter somebody from entering. That is what happens. So to answer your question, start with the alarm system. Go into the CCTV. Take the guard. If you don't need somebody to open the gate, but depending on the priorities. If you're at a place whereby you need somebody to take care of the gate, then you take a guard first to open the gate for you and close. So it depends on your priorities and the amount of money you have in the pocket. That's the way it is.
When you've talked about cars and people opening, I've heard of people saying there's a way they do when kama hauna guard, because si kila mtu anaweza kuwa nayo. If you don't have a guard, there's a way you can park. This is a security measure. There's a way you park first so that you can be aware of your environment. Maybe see if there's someone who wants to attack you. And then what is the recommended angle, distance before getting out of your car?
Thank you very much. There are two ways. When you're driving home and you're at the gate, this one we call it in the lesson of defensive driving. When actually you have the gate, some people go listen to cool music. Your mind is just buried actually in the cool music, in the program which is going on that you get. People when, especially when you're alone in the car, music actually keeps you company.
True.
And you are already buried in that and you forget about the environment. There's something we call response to stimuli. You know what stimuli means? Stimuli is just a complicated name to say surrounding. And response to stimuli is reacting to the surrounding. Like the way if you put your leg, a figure in a place where there's heat, you remove it. That's a reaction. If you go at a place you are not thinking it was raining, especially in the way this place of yours, the studio is made, it can be raining and you fail to hear it's raining.
True.
So when you go trying to run to the parking and then you are hit by that heavy drop of rain, you react to it, then you come back very fast. That's called response to stimuli. So when in the car, don't be buried in those things. Just understand the environment. And coming direct to your question, when you're parking, do not park facing the gate because you're already blocking yourself with the gate. If the gate is on your right, park facing in front. In a way, if somebody was following you, if he passes you and blocks you from the front, you can reverse. If somebody comes from behind you, you see somebody coming out with a gun, you can drive off. But don't actually block yourself with the gate. So when you're also, for safety, when you're parking at home or maybe in a place whereby you are living as a society, in apartments where you're living as a society, to make sure that you're just to guard your security. When you're parking the vehicle, make sure that it's facing the wall. Then you engage the front gear. Like if the manual car, engage gear number 1.
Drive facing. You've parked facing the wall, not the gate.
No, in that you have already entered now the compound.
Nishaingia. So
now you are going to see. You want to save your car from anybody who can think of manipulating. That's when you face the gate, a place whereby, or even a place whereby the vehicle cannot be pulled in front. Because there are some vehicles when you shake them front and behind front, they disengage the gear or the parking state. and somebody can easily steal your vehicle.
Yeah, okay.
So you should make it in a way that somebody cannot push it because the wall is in front of it. Unaona in such a scenario. So that's the way. It's a safety precaution. It's also a security precaution when you're doing the parking. So we have talked about entering the gate, and we have talked about when you've already entered. Yeah.
Okay. So you said there's importance in having a security guard.
Exactly.
In the CCTV.
Yes.
We've talked about the parking.
Electric fencing.
Yeah, electric fencing.
Yes.
Which is very common, actually.
Exactly.
I see that in a lot of houses nowadays. Ah, yeah. Yes. Nice.
So for the way it is that I would like, as I continue, as I am completing, I would say these two things, especially about security, I would divide it actually in something we call the scope and timeline. You know, the scope, security is much broader than safety.
Yes.
And it can even be international. Somebody, with this one, I'll take an example. The cybercrime. For somebody to steal from your bank, need time to analyze your banks, your everything.
They have actually really perused.
Exactly.
They know a lot. A lot of information.
And actually, you should be very sensitive to messages that come prompt you on your phone. There's one that you can open, and through that, they download every information on your phone. That's what we call cybercrime. You should be very sensitive. Wow. In fact, if somebody prompts you with a message, even if it's a WhatsApp, a message, you should be in a position, not even, yourself are not even opening. Yeah. Then, these people promise you that you have won.
Aye. We know those ones.
Exactly. Scammers.
And then they tell you, press this link.
Yes.
Or you text this number, send money to.
That's a cybercrime. And to some extent, you can have the serious, the gurus now, already billionaires. They take time. Their business is that. They peruse, before they get the credentials of your bank, in a way that they can withdraw the bank. And send the money to a bank, maybe in outside the country.
Yes.
They need to take some time. That's why we are talking about the scope. So in this scope, it's broader. And it can even be international. That's why most of the it's already internationally accepted that we have people who are called the Interpol.
Interpol.
Do you know who they are?
Yeah, I think I've heard of them in movies again.
Yes. Do you know what it means, Interpol? It's just the way it is. Can you try? Interpol. Those are two names put together.
International.
Good. International. Paul. Their first letters.
Policy.
Exactly.
Policy.
That is international police.
Oh, policy.
You see, you're fearing. Don't fear.
International police.
Have confidence. Okay. And like the way we were being told, like the time you were being told in school, never leave a blank space.
True.
Try. If this time actually to be corrected,
True.
We don't know. Just give it a shot. We are describing this issue of security and safety into categories because there's something we call the scope and time. Scope is what we say is broader. It's not just within your surroundings. Could be within where you are, especially in matters of security. They could be the country, they could be beyond the country. And this is where we have now the international police who are called the Interpol, which is internationally accepted. And they can work together to be in a position actually to arrest a crime. We used to have some cases whereby people used to steal from the West. They used to steal the luxury cars and then they bring them into the country.
Oh.
Yeah, there used to be such a syndicate, unfortunately.
Wow.
And then when they come to a certain place, thank you to the customs authority, because they were able to detect that, they declare what they're having. There are 3 big machines actually, and then they say their household items. Such things like those. So in such a scenario, is where if it's detected, then you have international police. If it's from where maybe they were stolen, then they involve the Kenyan police. Or maybe whichever the country.
Yeah.
They say we have lost this and that, and came in a certain container this and that. Because it's not only in your country that we have criminals.
Yeah.
They could be working in cahoot with criminals on the other side.
Yeah.
That's why we have, the way we have international criminals, we have international police. Yes.
Okay.
So with that one, I would like to say, but in safety, you react to the surrounding. Like the way we said, we have occupational health and safety, and you respond to stimuli, as we said. Then we say the security is addressed through trainings and education, making people aware of the potential hazards around them. Then, risks are usually addressed through technology and security measures. For example, you have managed barriers, surveillance cameras, access controls, and the like. The scope is over as far as that is concerned.
Okay.
Because so if we can summarize it, we can say security is broader and even beyond borders, but hazards are where you are. Yes, like the way we see it, you cannot be harmed by something which is very far from you.
True.
Even some meters far from you may not harm you. Then we should be careful about the surrounding. There's a place we usually compromise security and safety. And especially in places whereby there are constructions and people have dug holes like septics, and they have left them covered. So you're walking along the road and then you meet with gangs. Then you think the best place to run away from is to go towards now an empty ground which is not constructed. And you don't know how the place is. Then you find yourself in a well or in a septic tank that's full of water. I would request you can negotiate with the thugs and we'll give them the phone or whatever you have. But you cannot negotiate with water when you're already inside there in the night.
True.
So if, priorities. Yes. Then we go to the timings. The difference between safety and security is time frame in which they occur.
Yeah.
Let's say, for instance, like, in safety, you had mentioned about trips. You can trip and fall.
Yeah.
You can sleep on a certain, tripping is when you are you tripped on a wire that was crossing, or maybe on a seat that was put badly. There is also sleeping on actually tires which are not very firm. In the bathrooms, you sleep and fall. Those are hazards. Then you have something which is also called the electrocutions and fall. And I would like to mention about electrocution. When somebody is electrocuted, don't go to remove the person with bare hands. Because you're also going to get electrocuted.
True.
What you're supposed to use if you want to save the person, take a broom, which is not metallic, or a dry stick, or a dry a piece of log. Then you push the person far from the thing. Otherwise, you say, guys, somebody has been electrocuted. Then you try to pull the person, the two of them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you should also be very careful. There are people who are just playful. You see a cable has fallen from a certain place. Then, especially children, they step on them. You could be stepping on a wire which had just fallen, and it has just maybe disconnected from the pole. Then you step on it and it's live. It's carrying maybe something to eat about, maybe it's very high voltage. And then it will electrocute you. You should be very worried about what is actually on our way. That is about safety. Then, go back to security. Safety is unexpected and unpredictable. We go to security, where we have the security breach. It can be planned for a long period of time, as we said. Terrorism, this one may take months to plan and gather intelligence.
Yeah.
The people you have seen who have attacked a certain place, the eyewitnesses usually say, amekuwa akikuja hapa tu, hata akitoka ananiambia nimwangalilie gari. When he's coming back, he gives me a tip.
True.
And he even actually makes some relationship with the people around.
True.
So that is something, as far as timing is concerned, we should be worried.
Yeah.
Especially about the people who are befriending us and you don't know them a long time. Some people could be doing that to befriend themselves so that in future they con you. This also happens, so to say, even with the young ladies, even with the young men, you get people who maybe you may see as if they are interested with the relationship, but they are just interested with what you have.
True.
After a certain period of time, they match what you are, they rob your bank account, like that. You should be very careful. I repeat it again, do not trust people 100%. Then, so there's something now we go to the 8, which is called the cyber crime.
Yes.
This may spend a lot of time, as we said, and this is where we are coming to now, the timing. And to some extent, the people who are vulnerable to this, because the people actually, they take a lot of time researching on your vulnerabilities. And this is where we usually talk of a network.
Yeah.
they go to your network before launching an attack. And this is where now we come to the place whereby we like actually bragging sometimes about our visits. It's a holiday. They put even the pin. This is where I am. After a certain location.
Yeah.
I'm in Mombasa.
They have
the next one I've evolved, I'm going to Lamu. So somebody knows at home there's nobody.
Yeah.
This lady was in Mombasa in Lamu. Before he comes back on her broken, he can even spend the night at your house.
True.
Cooking and eating.
Oh God.
Be careful on what you're posting online. Because you can be vulnerable to cyber that kind of cyber crime.
Yeah.
And you can easily be attacked. Be careful on what you post, especially concerning the locations. I'm sorry to say ladies are more prone to this.
That is true.
And be careful actually on such things.
Yeah.
Then I'll go to conclusion if you don't mind.
It's okay.
We have the do's and don'ts. Don't dare security or safety. If you go to a certain place and you find, I know I fell a victim whereby I dared water and I was driving.
You dared water?
I dared water. And I was driving. Then I say this appraise I passed every day. At least I know that water has been draining into the place and it's even higher than water. What I had is that like I had lost the grip of my steering because the vehicle was almost floating.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, I did not panic, but I engaged the reverse gear. My vehicle was manual.
Yeah.
So I engaged the reverse gear. The wheels got the grip of something and it reversed in the water. Okay. Otherwise, we could have drowned in that water.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Wow.
Then the other thing is when somebody is swimming, sometimes ocean waters are quite very attractive.
Yeah.
When you visit the beach, the most thing that you want to be is to get into the water.
True.
Expands, they give you, a certain kind of relaxation. I remember I went to a certain place where when I'm telling you I've dared the water twice. And I went, the contours of the waters, even the oceans are not the same. I passed a certain depression. Then I went and there was an elevated place where I stood. I enjoyed the water up to the waist level. And there is something which is called the onshore, where the water is coming back.
True.
So it was feeling the depression I was using now to go back to the beach. Because I was filling up. When the water came to almost the chest level, I thought now this is the time to go back.
Yeah.
I'm not very, very good in swimming.
Yeah.
And so I started walking back. And I saw now this is almost covering my head. And the water had really come. So do not dare security or safety. So with that, I'll be in a position also to say, always use qualified personnel to handle your work. Installations of power, installation of gas plants, installation of dams, and also construction of buildings.
Sure.
Somebody cheaper can, in the long run, be
will
expensive.
Cost you.
And thank you very much for the time that you've given me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a lot of information that you've shared on security and safety.
Thank you.
I mean, I feel like kuna vitu nimesikia for the first time.
Yes.
And that is what we're here to do, to learn.
Wonderful.
To learn. I mean, that's just amazing. Thank you so much for honoring us by your presence, with your presence. Thank you so much again.
Asante sana.
It has been an amazing episode again. I think we will have you here, Tena.
Thank
if
you.
You don't mind.
Get the opportunity. I will come.
Tutakuita. The next time tutakuita, itakuwa tu kupiga story.
Exactly. I'll be happy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And once again, I say thank you for giving me the opportunity.
You're welcome.
To share what I have, the little that I have, to share with people. I know it will help somebody somewhere.
Yeah, it will.
It will save life somewhere.
True.
And also to save somebody property and life.
True.
Thank you.
Thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much to our audience as well for listening and for watching. If you listened to us on Spotify, if you've watched us on YouTube, thank you. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, comment. We appreciate the feedback that you guys give. So yeah, until we meet again on the next episode 28 now, I think. Be safe, stay safe. God loves you. Bye-bye.